In this episode of Paranormal Investigations.
Unfortunately, we can't go, but either way, you guys have fun. But the stairs, there's the stairs, and with the stairs, there's some furniture above the stairs, I believe, and just be careful around that area.
We're about 4 hours from Elizabethtown. We're heading to the Stone Mansion. So that the general would come up here and look at the stars.
Picking up EVP.
Can we turn the light off? And that's when I was like, I'm just gonna chill down here, decompress, and now I'm like literally shaking.
You got a box on the floor. If you get near it, the lights will go off.
Anybody got a ball?
Yeah, in the pocket.
Let me get it. Let me get it.
Why does it feel creepier in here than it does in here?
Well, because I'm looking on that camera and I can't tell what's sitting on that.
Sitting on what?
On the railing. But I'm just here. It's probably. Yeah, because I'm.
There's a lot of spooky stuff going on in this world. Cold chills, footsteps, doors closing. Things any sane person would run from. Have you ever had the strange feeling that you were not alone, but you were? There is one team that will go above and beyond to find the truth. Teps. Welcome to Paranormal Investigation.
The interview Friday on the steps of the asylum, and before she did it, she said, can I interview you? And I'm like, sure, what the hell? Let's do it. That's okay.
I see you today,
Yep.
Yeah, he's not in proper uniform.
What'd you say?
I said he's not in proper uniform. I'm gonna have to give him crap for it all day. I know. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Do you guys have anything that you need to set up, or
We do have
anything that you need to bring in? If you guys want to go ahead and grab your stuff, I'll get the house unlocked. Okay. You can start bringing your stuff in, and we can go from there.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Do you want to walk around and just get?
Yep. that's haunted or has activity or whatever, it's all about what you guys make of it. You know, it's all about if you guys are accepting and open to what's there, you know, so do with that what you will.
Anybody feel anything when you come in?
Right, you know, right now,
Just,
excitement.
yeah, excitement. I mean, a little heavy, but not, like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
got
feel nothing
the-
bad or anything.
The heaviness.
So I want to start out by showing you, this is original documentation of what the property looked like in its prime.
Awesome.
That is awesome. It's amazing. There was you can pass that around. There was a working windmill here on the property that powered 2 fountains on the property. So there was a well, and the windmill pumped the water from the well into the fountains. And General Ashel Stone was a little man with a big man complex. Quite literally. He was 4'11" and 3/4. He was not a big man at all. And if you take a look at the doorknobs, you will see that these doorknobs, and I'll show you when we start the tour, the front door especially, it's down here. It's very low. Okay, he was a little man with a big man complex, all right? So don't mind me, I'm gonna read a couple things from an article. You guys don't seem like the type of people that mind too much. So I wanna make sure that I'm giving you accurate information, as accurate as I can give you, okay? So Stone Mansion has stood watch at the southern end of Meridian Street in Winchester since its construction in the Second Empire architecture style. General Stone was from Ohio. His father was an architect. His father was, what did you call him yesterday?
Contractor.
A contractor, a very skilled contractor. His father was probably the top of his game at the time, okay? The house was built for his wife, Lydia,
Wow.
in 1872. During the last few years, you can see the house has changed hands multiple times. And the people that have lived here, some of them actually cared about it, and some of them tried to repair it back to its original, but they had kids, the kids went off to college, and the money ran dry. And it takes a lot of money to take care of this place and to get it back to what it was supposed to be, you know? So as you walk through, you're gonna see, I mean, the floor creaks, there's some spots, you know, that you might be, but I guarantee it's safe, okay? If it wasn't safe, we wouldn't allow you guys in here, okay? So, anyway, let's see here. This is information about Stop, sorry. Okay, so General Ashel Stone was born in Marietta, Ohio in 1817. He was the son of Ezra Stone, a respected carpenter who passed his knowledge to his son that followed his father into that trade. So Ashel would become much more than a simple carpenter. He became a senator for the state of Indiana, a general in the Civil War, okay? He was in charge of the commissary. He was in charge of getting supplies to the Union troops, okay? But he was more of a Southern sympathizer than he was, hey, the North, okay? Him and his wife Lydia didn't have children. But before they got married, before he married anybody, he wanted somebody that was shorter than him, because he didn't want to be with anybody taller, you know, because, like I said, little man with a big man complex. So after a couple of years, he finally found Lydia, who was just an inch or two shorter than him. But there was a stipulation that came with marrying Lydia. You have to take my brother too. So not only did Lydia come along, it was her brother, and her brother lived here as well. Now when we do the tour, you'll see, I'll point out certain things and you'll be like, huh, that's kind of weird. So I'm going to let you guys make your own judgment about that because like I said, it's not documented. You don't really, if you tried to look up anything about him besides for what I'm reading, you can't really find much. You know, I mean, I tried to look and I can't find much either.
What was his name?
General Ashel Stone, and it is Ashel.
Oh,
Her brother.
Oh, his name,
Joe
was it Joe
Preston.
Preston? Joe Preston, and it was Lydia Preston. Preston was her maiden name. Okay, so he married Lydia Preston near Cincinnati in 1839. And the Stones came to Winchester, where he became one of its most prominent and influential citizens. Not only was he a senator, but he was in charge of the very first bank here in Randolph County. So he was in charge of everything. And he was very influential in bringing a railroad through Winchester. So there are, in the picture right here, you'll see these houses all along here. Montgomery Ward, the store, he had those houses brought on train and set up, and they're still, they're on that side, aren't they? Yeah, they're still there to this day, and they haven't changed one bit. They all looked the same. They were all, and
It was the
there you
first
go
housing
again.
development in the state of Indiana.
The very first.
That's awesome.
Yes, and my phone, this building and the asylum does not like my phone. My phone always, my phone was at 100% when I walked in here, and once again,
Drained.
it's drained. It is at 18%. Anyway, originally they lived in a home on Stockyard Road, and after the home burned, they moved down the roadaways to the home where more recently Don and Wilma Han lived. So, like I said, this house has passed through a lot of different hands, okay? It was turned into apartments, and you'll see when we go through where the apartments started and where they ended and things like that. And then it was a 5-star restaurant. The 5-star restaurant obviously didn't last long because when there's a McDonald's and there was a Burger King here in Winchester, but when you can go and get a burger for $1, $1.25, whatever, why are you going to go to a 5-star restaurant and spend $100 and $150 on a meal when you can go right down the road and get a cheap meal? You know, so that clearly didn't last too long. Stone was a state senator both before and after the Civil War. He was instrumental in shifting the railroad to come through Winchester and his own property. So literally, it ran right through the property.
When you pulled in a driveway out there, 10 more feet to the south, you'd pulled in onto a railroad track. So the railroad track basically ran right through where you pulled in.
That's amazing.
It's
In other words,
amazing.
they got their own Amazon.
Right. Yes, that was their Amazon, you know?
He wanted shipped it to the...
Definitely. And looking at the fireplaces that are still up in the home, that is actual Italian. What kind of
Carnelian or something like that.
But it's from Italy.
It's the actual marble that Michelangelo used to do his sculptures with.
That's awesome.
I read that on the,
It's the same
Yes.
stuff. What's the name of the marble?
I can't say it either, but it's like the Cardelia or Cardelian.
Carnelian or something like
Something-
that.
Yeah, it's a very fancy Italian marble, and he had it brought here specifically for his home. The fixtures, the doorknobs, the bracings, the brackets, things like that are all original to the home. And he did that because, like I said, little man, big man complex. Okay, come on now. Sorry. Okay, so another thing about General Stone was he practiced temperance. He did not drink, he did not smoke. He was anti all of that.
He didn't have any fun at all.
No, he was a real stick in the mud. He really honestly was a stick in the mud. And a very private individual as well. And you'll see that as we go through the house. In 1861, Governor Oliver P. Morton appointed him Commissary General for the state of Indiana. In 1862, he was also named State Quartermaster General. This position basically meant that it was his job to locate the supplies and provisions needed by various units of the Union Army. He'd make sure if they needed uniforms, if they needed food, if whatever they needed, they would get. And he would personally go with the supplies to make sure that the troops got what they needed. So he cared, but not really about the right stuff. So anyway, he was in charge of the state bakery, which provided necessary supplies for government institutions, including military hospitals and prisons, as well as veteran, widow, and orphan homes. So breads, things like that, he made sure that they got what they needed as well.
Can I jump in right there real quick?
Go for it.
Okay, the bakery that he established basically pulled Indiana out of bankruptcy. Because Morton put Indiana in the Civil War when Indiana really didn't have the money to supply the troops and everything. And so by him appointing Stone Commissary General in charge of the bakery for the orphans home and hospitals and all that, providing bread, it actually pulled the state of Indiana out of bankruptcy. The thing scary about the state of Indiana is that it was only one vote shy of being a Confederate state. Believe it or not, Indiana was just one vote away from being a part of the Confederacy.
And that's insane. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah. So after the war, he returned to Winchester in 1865. And he was one of the organizers of the First National Bank in Winchester and was named its first president. When that bank was recognized in 1879, he became president, a director, and a stockholder of Randolph County Bank. So Stone donated 40 acres to establish Fountain Park Cemetery. So he donated his own land to the city of Winchester because the original cemetery was swamp, is what it was. You know, the bodies wouldn't stay buried, and who would want to bury their loved ones in a swamp, okay? I mean, bodies are gonna end up floating, shit's gonna happen. So he donated his own land. But the thing of it was he wanted to be the center of the cemetery. And before he passed, him and a neighbor of his were in a pissing contest, okay? They wanted to see who could spend the most money, who was better, who had the most. So before he died, before Stone died, he contacted, what was his name? The guy that made his head?
Daniel Hoffman.
Daniel Hoffman.
He lived right catty corner across here.
And he said, I want you to make the biggest headstone. I want it to be seen from everywhere. I want to look out my window and I want to be able to see my headstone. Wow. Okay, cool. And they did it. General Stone passed away and his was the biggest one.
Oh no.
But the guy that he was in the pissing contest with, Wysong, got with the man that made Stone said Stone and said, I want it
1 foot.
1 foot bigger. And quite literally, Stone has to be turning in his grave on this day because his was 1 foot bigger than the general's, which is insane. I mean, even after he died, he still had to say, hey, you know what? I gotcha.
Yep.
I got you. I am the better person. I am the bigger individual. So, Stone was also named Secretary Treasurer and General Manager of the Winchester Wagon Works. He was also involved in a number of organizations that promoted the public welfare of the citizens of our community. Prior to the construction of the mansion, the home that was on the property was moved down the street, and a series of catalog-style houses were built east of the estate, many of which still remain. The houses were built for the construction crew of this house.
They were out of Rhode Island, the construction crew was out of Rhode Island.
Now, upon his death in 1891, Stone willed the mansion to his wife Lydia, and she died the following year, and W.E. Miller purchased the mansion from her estate. Miller was the owner of a prominent department, Stone, which was at one time located at the current location of Everett's Family Diner. So like I said, this house has passed through many hands, okay? And like I said, you'll see some people actually cared about the home and tried to repair it. But the most recent owners before Dan and his brother purchased the home, he was a contractor, okay? He is a contractor here in Winchester. He bought the house on contract from a man that owned it. And he told Roger, who owned it, he had every intention of fixing it. And they were going to live here while they were fixing it up. He lived here for what, 2 years? At least. 2 years and didn't pay Roger a dime. And Roger was like, I know him, I trust him, he'll pay me eventually. And he never did. So when Dan and his brother acquired the property, they paid Roger and got that other contractor off the hook. And I actually, after I had been in here and I found out who the contractor was, me working at a convenience store here in town, I was like, hey, what happened, right? Well, I guess I bit off more than I could chew. Well, if you bit off more than you could chew, you knew the state of the place when you got it. Maybe you should have passed it on, or maybe you just should have said, hey, I'm sorry, I can't handle this, and let somebody else get their hands on the property. So
There
Dan
were 27 leaks in the roof. And this guy was a contractor.
Yeah.
You know how he fixed them? He set coolers and buckets around inside. And every time it rained, it was like a waterfall coming in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you'll see.
If Dan and Richard hadn't have bought it, this place would be on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most definitely. So it's I hate to say that the house is in very sad shape. And it is, it's not like it was supposed to be, People actually took care of it, and imagine what it could have been, what it could be, We've still got the original pocket doors. The only thing that we ask is do not mess with the pocket doors, because if you've done anything with pocket doors, you know that they are a pain in the ass to put back in. And we don't want any damage. We're positive you guys don't want to cause any damage. So that is all the information that I have. Do you guys have any questions or anything?
Has anybody died in the house?
Ted? I think he went to the bathroom. We'll ask him. He would know more than I would. And I
Because
don't
that way
know
we
you.
can, if we can ask a name, you know, and if we get a name, then we know it's
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
that
yeah. I know that there is a girl. I do not know what her name is. Yellow dress, I do believe, and she is seen on the stairs, and I hate to give you little breadcrumbs.
So we're laughing because we had 2 other people that are part of our members, and they weren't able to make it, and he's very
They're the more sensitive ones.
And right when we were getting ready to leave, we picked up some gear.
Well, wait a minute, is she nice, or is she known to be more mischief?
The little girl on the stairs, is she mischievous?
She can be.
Okay, now
Okay,
you know.
cool.
So what ended up
There
happening
she
was
is.
they
Here's
he
the
told
little
us
girl
straight
on
up
the
right
steps.
before we had to
That
head out.
is right
He
there
just
beside
said,
where she was killed on the railroad track.
be careful on the steps.
He said, watch out for the
Watch
stairs.
Yeah.
That was it.
She hangs out there a lot.
So that's why when you said that, all of us were.
And I was here yesterday and I saw her on the stairs.
That's what we need to look for.
She was killed,
we have a name.
rumored to have been killed, hit and killed by the train that ran through the property. Rumored. But there have been several mediums come here and say she was not killed by a train. She was killed, she was beaten.
Does she have, do you know the name of her?
Huh?
Do you know her name?
Wendy Morris.
Wendy Morris.
She's a niece of a previous owner, Pat Morris.
You got all this stuff down pat.
Pat Morris.
Pat Morris, yes.
She's a niece.
So now you all, like,
I'm
2
going to.
years. 2 years in this place, like ownership, right? So there's been 2 years of like investigation, or when did people get to come in here? Like when did it get safe? Like how many, I guess,
How many
years have been open
investigations?
for investigations?
2 years.
For 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so straight from the get-go.
This is the second year.
Nice.
Yeah, as long as it was, they came in, they fixed what they needed to make it accessible.
So people could walk and not
Yes, yes,
And
and,
fix most of the leaks, 90% of the leaks in the roof.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Has anybody died in the house?
General Stone did not die in the house and neither did Lydia. But you're probably sitting in the very room right now where their wakes were. You know what a wake is? It's where they sit around and watch and make sure they don't wake up,
Yeah.
you know? I think both of their wakes were probably right here in this room or that room. But neither one of them died in the house.
Has anybody died in the house at all?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Out of the previous owners, none have that I know of. Matter of fact, I still know Ed and Nancy Williams. You saw that one fancy picture?
Yeah.
That's what Ed and Nancy Williams did to restore. That was the front room right there. To get it back to where it really looked like. So they were doing a great job.
Yeah, and then both of their kids went to college at the same time and the money ran dry.
Just immediate, yeah.
Yeah.
School's not
Yeah,
cheap.
No, it is not. It is not at all. So, are
So,
you,
one of the DVRs need to be set on the stairs.
For sure.
you're gonna see, there's some really neat things in this place. And I hope I don't have to point them out. I hope you're like, well, hey, that's really cool. I've never seen that before.
Right.
I just keep your eyes open, pay attention. You're not gonna get lost. The only place that you might get lost is the basement, but it all comes around, so
Okay.
you'll see.
One
We are
thing-
going,
One thing that kind of, you touched on it, was a house that used to be here.
yes,
Okay, that house was picked up and moved 1 block that way. And it's actually sitting today on the corner of Orange and Main Street, right there, up on the hill. Now, as soon as he got that house moved, it was here, and it was a nice house, all right? He put in 10 feet of fill dirt and spread it around the property, and then built this house on top of the fill dirt. He's got the little big man attitude so bad that he wanted his house to be setting up on a hill where everybody walk by has to look up.
Yes, because he was so used to looking up at people.
He wanted
people
to
to look up at him. Yes.
That's amazing.
Now, you're gonna see, let's go in here into the hallway. That light is not working. That's awesome. Okay, so I said something about the doorknobs, okay? You saw the doorknobs in there. This doorknob is literally, I mean, you've got to bend over in order to grab a hold of the doorknob. And if you look at the doorknobs, those are hummingbirds on the doorknob, like very intricate design, I mean, it was specifically made for their home.
That's awesome.
And a normal house, an old house, when you walk in, you're coming into a grand foyer, right? And it's very welcoming, very, hey, come in, come visit, come stay a while.
Right.
This is very much, okay, you see a stairwell right there, and that room right there that we just passed was his office, was his study, okay? And it's got the doors. And on the other doorway, the other little entryway right there, are another set of pocket doors for his privacy, okay? He did not want to be bothered. But if you look, this road right here, looking outside, if you go straight down that road, Randolph County Bank, right there, you go straight down this road, you're gonna hit the heart of Winchester. That is downtown Winchester. He would walk to work every single day. And in the 1800s, dirt, right? Dirt roads, okay? He paid specifically to have stone put because he didn't want to get his shoes dirty. He did not want to get his shoes dirty. So that was his route to work. And when he was home, he could look out. And at that time, those trees weren't there. So he could look out and see everything. He had a clear bird's eye view of everything.
Yeah, and you can even see too, like looking.
Yes, there is a hill.
There's a dip.
There is a dip. Yes, yes. And the stone or the wrought iron fence. There was a fence all the way around, and it was to keep people out. He did not want visitors. He was not a fan of people. Okay. All right.
Not a fan of people unless they
And beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
And maybe we're a bit psychic.
So we're gonna go upstairs.
You're stuck.
Now, this banister is fine to put pressure on. When we go up to the 3rd floor, be very gentle with the banister. It is not sturdy.
Jay, you should post it in there.
Feel free to hang on to the wall. It's good. It's good.
Oh gosh, and they're short too.
Is this the windy stairwell?
You good, Jay?
Okay, so this is where we need to.
So, right here, where you guys are coming up, that corner right there is where she is seen a lot, okay?
You feel a little,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
very
much so,
heavy.
very much
you
so.
can feel it.
Yeah.
It's
This whole stairwell area, it
It's
feels very.
definitely well, if I didn't have 2 shirts on, you'd
Well,
see
you
my.
can feel it, yeah.
Yeah, your hair's standing up. You know, they know that you are here. They know that we are here.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely know it, and
So definitely capture the
I'll put
staircase.
Definitely.
when we run the DVR, I'll put like.
okay. So we're gonna come into this room right here, and unfortunately, this is one of the fireplaces that we do not take here,
Energy, yeah.
and it's very sad. These pictures. Now, this was Lydia's brother's bedroom. Okay? This was General Stone's bedroom. Yeah,
Right next to each other.
attached.
It's a little odd.
It's a little odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little odd.
This is like you put like an eye on them.
I love that.
And
It's our
this,
house. We have fireplaces.
take a look at the entryways, the hallways. They're very narrow hallways, okay? They have not been altered. That was exactly how they were made, all right? His closet, now, this was converted into an apartment, and you can see, you know, kitchen, you know, living room area, whatever. And then this area right here was the general's dressing room. So, tiny closet, and this was part of an apartment bathroom. There's a bathroom, a working bathroom downstairs. Please do not shit in the toilet. Just saying. Just
So,
saying.
side note, imagine how many times that's happened.
I was
For them to have to say that.
You know, that's happened for them to have to be like, don't do this.
Not even here, but mainly at the asylum. You know, I mean, there are multiple bathrooms there, and I guess when nature calls, you gotta go, but.
Okay, so.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, what?
I come out to service.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we just left the general's changing room, his closet area. Now, this was Lydia's changing room. And it was converted into kitchen area, bathroom. It was an apartment. Now we're going into Lydia's bedroom.
Is that normal back then?
I want my own changing room. We're doing some new designs.
Shut up, Victor. You step.
She did, you like that? So she graduated tonight. I get her money, she gets mine tonight. Which is twice as much as she gets. So she graduated tonight.
It's not even about the money though, it's the history of the place. I'm sorry, I always get choked up in this area, period. That was Lydia's changing room. And this was Lydia's bedroom,
Okay, they were separate bedrooms?
yes.
Was that normal back
For that
then?
time?
For husband and wife?
For
Well,
him,
let me put it to you this
For him.
way. Whose bedroom is right off of General's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victor's a little slow.
no children at all.
Did you figure it out already?
Yeah.
Now, I can't prove that, but.
We
that's
cannot prove that because
Right.
there's no, at that
Like
time,
that you'd want it to be on the DL.
very much so.
The wife's room is across the hall and the brother's next to
And now I put it together.
Yes, yes, yes. So, I don't know if you guys feel anything in this room, period.
A little deepness.
sadness.
Very much so. I hadn't even been in the house before. I was out in the parking lot where everybody's parked, I was smoking a cigarette, and Kate was, and I didn't even know her name was Lydia, to be totally honest. Like, it was a total, hey, her name's Lydia, and you're Lydia, and let's do this, right? I'm standing out in the parking lot smoking a cigarette, And I keep looking at that window right there. And I saw the silhouette of a woman standing in that window. And I'm looking and I look away and I look back and I look away and I look back and I'm thinking my eyes are fucking with me. I'm like, no. So I looked at her and I said, is that a bedroom? And she said, yeah, it's a bedroom. I said, there's a woman up there. And she said, yeah? I said, yeah. I said, that was her bedroom, wasn't it? And she said, do you know what her name was? I said, no, what was it? And she said, her name was Lydia. I said, she is very sad. I said, she is standing at that window and she is waiting and waiting and waiting. And there's a lot of heartache in this room, a very heavy feeling in this room. When I was in here last night, before our people were here last night, I running my hand across the fireplace and coming over to the window and just like you feel drawn to touch, you know, and I kept hearing, this is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not my home. Why? Why is it like this? And it's a heart-wrenching feeling. It's sad, you know. But that is the feeling that I get in this room specifically. Now, another feeling that I get, because I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we're gonna go down the hallway here. Good. And I want you to take a look. Where is the corner? Right? There is no corner. This is a curved wall. So if somebody were trying to hide something, there's no peeking around corners. You're gonna see. You have a direct view.
All the way down.
Exactly. Exactly. So privacy was huge, okay? Like I said, we can't prove it, but you get the feeling that there is secrecy, very much so. So we're gonna go back. I just wanted to show you that hallway because it's cool. It's a very real, like a staple to this building. We are going up to the third floor, and this is the banister that I did not want pressure put on. Please and thank you. Hold on to the wall. It's sturdy. So this there is no heat source up here. When I tell you that he was a private person and did not like visitors, this would have been the guest area. This would have been the guest rooms. These, obviously, the heaters were added later when it was an apartment. This was where he would stargaze, where General Stone would look out the window with his telescope or whatever. If you look out the window, there is very little to no overhang on the actual house. Perfect view of the night sky. He could see the constellations, could see the stars, could see all of that stuff. So this was where he would come and look at the stars.
Couch at the top of the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Who said something about a couch at the top of the stairs?
Rodney.
So these little rooms, these rooms are, the only thing that's different about these rooms is this room has wallpaper and that room doesn't. But take a look at the shape of the walls. It's very, This wallpaper in here makes it look trippy, but it's really very cool. The design of the building itself, of the home itself, is absolutely phenomenal. Hey, Ted. Ted.
Alright, left the window open. Somebody got in.
If they got in, that's a grand feat.
You want me?
Yes, sir, I do.
What'd I do?
You didn't do anything.
Windows fall out?
Yes, sir, they did.
Okay. Here.
Either got a little too windy or
Or something knocked it out.
A bird flew into it or something.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, just be careful.
We'll give
Okay.
Dan Richard something to do
Yeah,
tomorrow.
definitely,
No one
definitely.
will the windows.
I ain't got no
Right.
money in this. I'm taking her money.
But looking at, like I said, looking at the wallpaper and the angles and things, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, just the structure of the home. It's one of those things that you have to appreciate. You have to see it in order to really appreciate it. And like I said, it's very sad the state that it's in.
It could be gorgeous.
But it could be absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, was it Dan that had somebody rush at him in one of these rooms?
That was actually at the infirmary, but I think it happened, I think it was in that room across the hall.
So, he was in one of the rooms, and it wasn't a short man. It was a man probably about 5'5". And Lydia's brother was not a short man. He was an average height, not, you know, extreme stature or anything, but he was a lifelong bachelor. Is when you looked up any information about him, he was a lifelong bachelor, okay? So that tells
that's
you.
more.
Yes, yes. But he saw a man in a dress suit, you know, like not really frilly, but frilly, you know. And he was at the window and it came rushing at him and then disappeared. But coming rushing at him, like, you're not allowed in here. What the hell are you doing? You know? So it's like, what does that tell you? You know? Did he want company? Were there supposed to be people here? And to me, with there being no heat up here, and I mean, the low doorknobs and things like that, and the stairway directly in your face, obviously there was no visitors wanted.
To be blunt about it, to make it easy to understand, when he would get guests, like, he was a state senator, okay? So you know he's got people showing up at his house. If they wanted to stay, he put them either in this room or that room over there. There's no heat, there's no cooling, no nothing. Another
So they
word,
didn't want to come back.
Yes,
It's miserable.
Yes, no.
they wanted to leave as soon as they could.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And who can say I really blame them?
That's
You
the whole,
can't.
that's the whole purpose of this floor.
Yes. You're in and you're out. Go. Exactly.
Gerald Stone was not a nice guy.
No.
And now that I've got him thoroughly riled up, we'll leave.
It's a good activity.
Right?
We'll go visit this other room and then we'll go downstairs to the basement and I'll show you around the basement and then we will get the hell out of that.
Is that just like a little closet area?
Ted,
Yes, ma'am.
This little room?
was that the storage area?
Yeah, it was. Here's the main thing right here is important. There used to be a copper tank that sat across the top of these rails right here, that the gutters from the roof would actually drain into this tank, rainwater. And then from the bottom of the tank, it was plumbed out to bathrooms downstairs. So the ladies would have rainwater to wash their hair with.
That's awesome.
It was a modern
See
thing
where it's
back in them days. You know, and it's long gone now too, so.
This room is almost identical to the other room that we were just in, minus the wallpaper. And you can see that there was wallpaper at one time, and it's getting stripped down. Yeah, it's just a really neat.
Does not feel good.
No,
Not at all.
it's, I don't want you here.
Yeah, very much so.
It's very much, what are you
As soon
doing?
as I got to the top of the steps, it was like, nope.
Yeah, very, very heavy, very overbearing, you know. I'm more than a bit sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I hear things, I see things, and it's even more amplified the more I come to places. And yeah, this home intrigues me, but it's also very threatening. My daughter asked to come here, and I said, I don't think so. I said, it is not a kid-friendly place to be. And she says, well, what do you mean? And I was like, it's not friendly, period. And she says, is it not safe? I said, it's not safe in the spiritual way. I said, I would not allow you to come here. And she's like, okay. So we compromised and went to the asylum instead.
Well, what's weird is when I told your mom we were coming here, she said she had got a feeling that whatever it was that was here was not friendly.
Yeah, he is not, there have been a number of people say that the general is the one that doesn't want people here, but the other owner, whose niece was killed, he wasn't a good man either. And like I said, there's no documentation, but you get bad feelings, you get very bad vibes, and you're like, very sad feelings.
What was his name?
That I cannot
Jason's got
remember.
it.
Well,
No.
Pat Morris.
The niece.
That's the woman, right?
That's the little girl, Wendy.
Wendy
Wendy's
Morris is the
the
kid.
girl.
Pat Morris was the
Pat was
uncle.
the uncle,
Oh,
and
okay.
he owned this property as well, so. All right, we good up here? We good to go down to the basement?
Good if you want.
Awesome, let's go. Once again,
What?
no real.
Electric vibes.
I hold on to the rail
Don't
because of
say
my
that.
knee.
Well, if you hold on.
No,
to-
I'm good. I just got to the wall.
Okay, well, I'm right here.
I just had to go slow. Girl, you're not going to stop me.
Okay, well, hey, I'm stronger than I look.
We're going to go down together.
I'm stronger than I look, okay? Give me a little bit of credit.
That's a lot of girl coming at you.
Hey, you know what? I am one of the only, I work at Wix Factory also, so I make pies for a living. I've got three. I've got three. I've got two kids and kids are expensive.
I have 4 kids. Kids are expensive.
Look at I wore my hair cast.
I take care of my kids. But I am the only woman, well, the only one other woman on the men's side at Pie Factory. And I just finished my training for sugar cream pie. And in 2 days, I lift about 4,000 pounds. So I got you. I got you. No, it's okay. I'm stopping. Holy crap. But like I said, it's very much.
How long did you hear that piano? I know, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
the piano.
Oh.
Yes, very, very much so, very much so.
So is it known to hear the piano playing?
That I do not know.
I had never heard it.
Never heard it, okay.
The piano was left here by the last owner.
Was it?
Yeah, the
He had
contractor.
another up there on the third floor, that first room he went into. He had a 3/4 red slate pool table in that room. He moved it out of there. But the piano is too heavy.
Oh, wow.
But he moved a pool table from the third floor?
From the third floor. Now, I've already been down to the basement.
Yes, sir.
And I've turned on all your lights that are on.
I love you.
I feel you.
Yes, I went down there.
So good, Jay?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll just have to disclaim to them that I've already,
That's a little different story.
Right.
you know, it was heard before I got here. so.
That
The infirmary scared the hell out of me. This place does.
We did that, what, a year or two ago?
The asylum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't last year. It was
No,
the year
about 2
before
years
last.
ago we investigated there.
There's some places out there that gives me the creeps.
Yeah.
And I'm in it just about every day. It still gives me the creeps.
Was it last year?
No, it was the year before.
Are you sure? I don't think we did anything in 2020.
This was the kitchen that was added on.
I'm not sure.
So it's locked because there's no history there. So and we've not heard any activity or anything like that happening there.
Except the log jiggling, maybe?
Let me out, let me out.
Or let me in, I'm hungry.
Well, hey, you know what? To each their own. All right,
My workman's comp.
basement time. Here we go.
All right.
Now it smells like your normal basement, okay?
Nice.
Y'all tell me? Little guinea pig?
Hope you guys like it down there. 2 or 3 of you's probably gonna have to sleep down there if you like it. There's not enough couches in this
I'm
place.
not sleeping nowhere.
Jess is like, I'm going home.
I'm going home.
Don't say that, don't say
No,
that.
I won't sleep here.
Oh, no. If you don't sleep, you don't sleep. It's all good. Okay, so the previous contractor.
I think Jess has to get to work tomorrow.
By the way, this one right here.
Decisions
Okay.
that came to this place. So there was a wall here, and the wall was knocked down. Take a look at this beam, it is a load-bearing beam, okay? It was a load-bearing wall.
That's what we need.
This was a load-bearing wall. When the wall was tore down, bam.
Yeah.
So these were put in place to make sure that it was structurally sound once again, okay?
And if you wanna see something that's really up to code, take a good look inside that shower. That's a 220 line across the ceiling in that shower. That might be your last shower right there. That could very well be your last shower. right there.
Very careful.
Now, these are the stairs that we were telling you about. If you're brave, go for it, but I do not recommend it, okay?
I mean, I would go up it, but not
Not down it, no, definitely not, because you're like, what the f?
I would go down it like a kid on my butt.
Right, slide down it.
My son's wife, her grandmother and her steps that lead to her upstairs are like that.
Yeah.
My papa's house for the longest time had a ladder to his second floor because he hadn't built the staircase yet.
Yes.
Now, there used to be supposedly
The
right
hallways,
here.
the entryways and things down here are very low, okay? It's very much for little people access.
He had a girlfriend.
And this was an apartment, okay? So there's another room right in there, and we'll go in there, we'll actually leave that way. What was that ledger? Was that a ledger?
It's titled something, a bunch of them.
Now, there were rumors that there were tunnels.
I told him.
That's what he was just telling me, yeah.
Yes. And looking, I mean, if you want to try and find a tunnel, cool, but you're not going to find one, okay? It's not going to happen.
If we do find a tunnel, though, it gets named after our group, right?
Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. We need documented picture, video, evidence, proof, something.
Pictures
Okay.
like the goal for tonight.
Yeah, right, everybody
Yes,
thought you were
yes.
investigating.
Yeah, no. Find the tunnel.
Text at 3 a.m. We found it.
That's his whole goal at our house.
Find the tunnels?
Yes.
Find the tunnels. Now, do mind your head.
Right? Yeah, they're.
They are very low.
Megan, why are you done?
Now, this room right here.
Look, it would be my luck. I wouldn't duck.
Yeah, be very careful. Hey,
You
if you
just shove
fall,
him.
you trip, and you die, that waiver also said that you have to haunt the place for 125 years. Active haunting.
I'll do it.
Active haunting, no couch sitting, no.
Right.
I
Gotta make some noise.
active-
Need like cameras knocking
Yes,
over.
yes.
Throw stuff at
I want
people.
doors opening,
just see Jay and his
closing,
UK
like,
stuff.
right?
Hey,
Jay
no
and his
problem.
UK stuff walking down the stairs, hobbling
Yeah.
down the stairs because he's permanently broken forever.
Mary is rumored to be buried down here.
Oh, nice.
Right
There,
Right here.
beside her.
Right beside me.
Who?
Mary.
Mary, the little girl.
Wendy.
Wendy. Mary.
No, we were like, who's Mary? Who's Mary?
I want to know who Mary is.
Right? You
I
got
wanna-
it.
Write that name down
I
for
wanna
question
know.
mark.
I want to know who
Got a
Mary
feeling.
is.
Yeah.
I want to know who Mary
She
is.
says
There's
she's
no
a
Mary here.
cook out of the infirmary.
Mary was a cook out at the infirmary. Mary was the head cook out at the infirmary.
You're right.
Mary was.
See, she graduated.
But Mary is obviously here with me, so I apologize. But Wendy is rumored to be buried right here.
So is the plan to smash up this floor and see what's underneath?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I vote no.
Yeah.
Let the owners know. We're down.
Right?
I'm out on that.
Give us a few sledgehammers.
I wonder why she would be buried down here though.
I don't
Hiding.
think that the owners wanted anybody to know she was even here. I got a feeling she was misused,
Yeah.
Abused.
abused.
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Is this where like
mistreated.
she would play or?
It's a great question. Nobody, I don't know the answer to that. I have not spent enough time in here to really know.
Down here with the pod and.
Just got the goosebumps.
Yeah, because I don't feel like she was down here to play.
That's,
If she was
that's
being
my thought
misused-
exactly.
If she was being
I don't
misused
think it
and
was a
abused,
fun
there aren't
place
windows
here.
down here, and no one's gonna hear you.
And the feeling that I get
That
when I
was
am
exactly
down
what my
here
thought was.
is a very overwhelming sense of dread, a very confused feeling, a very what's going on, you know, a very help
Lydia?
me vibe. Yes, sir.
I used to know one of the people that lived down here, Lloyd Hapner, and he told me Pat Morris, which would be Lydia's, or Wendy's uncle, lived down here. Actually lived down here in a basement apartment and did not use the upstairs at all.
So, if he beat the holy hell out of her,
Right. Nobody's
then
gonna know.
Nobody's
Or worse.
gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. So. All right.
Let's put that here.
Yeah. With the ball and
Yeah.
the pod and see if we can get some activity.
See if we can get
Yeah, I'm
that.
good
When
talking to
you
kids,
guys
man.
capture stuff, when you guys get stuff, feel free to share it with us. We want
Oh, we will.
to know. We want to know.
We at your Facebook page and we blast it.
We definitely want to know.
We'll let you know when we try.
Definitely want to see, definitely want to experience what you guys experience.
Okay.
And this is another room in the apartment. So feel free to set up wherever. Last night the people had cords and everything running every which way. So like I said, that waiver was for not only our protection, but for you guys also. Be careful, be very mindful. Have fun. No drinking or smoking inside, please. No drinking, period, on the premises. You guys are
We
smart.
already signed that waiver.
Yeah, that's one of our team rules,
Yes,
so.
Drinking, drugs, and ghost hunting don't mix.
No.
They do not. They do not. Anybody worth a grain of salt.
You'll hear and see everything.
Exactly, exactly. And it turns out to be your own mind fucking with you.
Exactly.
So, any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything?
Well, I've already coming in with a hurt ankle.
Yes.
Just FYI. You already
Thank you for
He will
letting
not
us
be
know.
wandering around.
No.
He is gonna be parked in the
Probably at home base.
Yes.
Well, I might do a little bit of the first floor.
Yeah.
And I might come down here to do the,
No, that's fine. Now, if you feel anything outside, don't hesitate to investigate outside as well. I don't know if anybody has ever captured anything outside, but it was a huge area. You know, I mean, looking at the pictures, I mean, you see what it was. You know, there's a very real possibility that you could catch something out there as well. You know,
now what
don't
about
limit.
the town around, I mean, you know, we don't wanna bother them.
Oh,
They're used to it.
Okay.
yeah.
We don't make much noise.
As long as you guys aren't screaming and blaring music and things like that, nobody's gonna bother you. People are very much aware in this town that we get visitors of the paranormal, yes.
We have an epic Halloween
Yes.
party over here.
Well, we're actually, October 8th, at a church outside of Portland doing a, rock and roll, picture show fundraiser deal, because the church needs a new roof.
So y'all do the time work.
I'm gonna be magenta and, do the damn thing, so. Any questions, comments, concerns, like legitimate?
We have to be gone by
10 o'clock,
So we
correct?
can sleep until then.
It's 10 o'clock.
I gotta take a nap before I.
You can't sleep until 10 because we gotta be out by
Out
10.
by 10.
No, we'll have everything wrapped up by like 3, 4.
Now,
I'm
what
sleeping.
doors do we lock up?
This is what, I'm gonna take you guys upstairs and
And
touch
show
on
us
that.
what door we could use to go smoke. And
The
where
one
we
that you
can go
came
out.
in.
The one that you came in, I'm gonna show you the little trick, because if it locks, you're fucked.
You
In
brought
other
supplies
words,
in here.
if you're outside and that door goes shut, you're locked out.
Yep.
And so if she's pay attention to her trick, she's gonna show you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, usually, there's only just me and my wife that smoke, so we'll probably be the only two going out,
Okay.
so,
I don't know, I have to go out when I get too hot.
well, that too.
Stay tuned to find out what happens next on Paranormal Investigations.